Morning, everyone, and welcome to the April Community Cafe. Our topic for this morning is resources for families with infants and toddlers. I see people still joining, getting connected to audio. So I'll allow everyone to get comfortable. As you come in, you can introduce yourself in the chat and say hello. So, to get us started with our conversation this morning, I do have three facts about infants and toddlers. Maybe you've heard this before, or maybe this is new information for you. So, the first one I'd like to share is by the age 3, a child's brain is developed by 80%. Also, by the age of 3, it has created 1,000 trillion connections, which is twice the amount of an adult. And lastly, high quality early care and family support programs are linked to better school readiness, emotional regulation, and social development. So, with our three speakers that we have this morning, they will speak about an array of resources and programs that helps to foster and develop that growth that we want with our infants and toddlers. So our first speaker will be Sarah Thompson from the Partnership of Children. Then we'll have Jeremy Stockton from the Catawba County WIC. And then lastly, we'll have Amanda Jenkins from Stretch and Grow. So now I'll hand it over to Sarah Thompson.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let me share my screen. I practiced this before. So let's make sure I get it right. All right. Can everybody, is that just the PowerPoint? No notes? Perfect. All right. So I am Sarah Thompson, and I'm the program manager at the Catawba County Partnership for Children. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, we're a local nonprofit organization that serves families with young children in and around Catawba County. At our most basic level, our goal is to help make sure that children are ready for kindergarten, regardless of their background, regardless of where they come from. We want them to all have an equal opportunity to enter kindergarten ready for success. But that actually looks like what it looks like is supporting the whole family and not just the child. Our mission is to make sure that every child starts kindergarten prepared for lifelong success. And that might sound simple, but it's actually a really big job. We're focused on the first 5 years of life because research shows that about 90% of a child's brain is developed by the age of 5. So your fact about the age of 3 was perfect because at the age of 5, it's about 90%. So everything that happens in those early years, relationships, environment, access to resources, those really shape the future for the children. Understanding how critical those early years are is actually how Smart Start was created and came to North Carolina in the early 1990s under Governor Jim Hunt. It was a statewide effort to invest in early childhood and support families at the local level. And that way, communities could respond to their own unique needs through the funds by Smart Start. This slide really brings to life how brains are built and not born. Children aren't just born ready to learn everything. They build those skills along the way and throughout time and experiences and relationships with other people. The early interactions help form the foundation of learning, behavior, and it helps with long-term health. Just those first 5 years of life alone cover all of those things.
Sarah, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I just want to let you know we can't see your slides changing. We only see that first slide. I see it changing in the corner.
Oh
Oh,
no. Okay.
that's better. Yeah, thank you.
That works.
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. So let me go. So this was, I want to go back. So you make sure to see our mission and our vision statement. So it is ensuring that every child starts kindergarten prepared for lifelong success. Okay.
Also, Sarah, I don't want to interrupt, but we can see your notes, the way that this is presenting. Do
What
you
in the
want,
world?
do you want that?
No. I
Okay.
need to look more prepared than this, Paul. Okay, you can still see my notes.
Not now, but we don't, are you back on the first slide?
Hold on. Let's redo. Okay. Is that better?
Well, we got to wait a second. Yep, there we go.
Okay, and you cannot see
Perfect.
notes. You can only see the slide, and it's not at the first slide.
Yeah, it's on the brains are built, not born. That's the slide you're on. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, now let me get to the next slide if I can. Did that go to the next slide? Okay, fantastic. So the work we do does not just impact children, it impacts our entire community. So when we invest in early childhood, we're supporting today's workforce by helping parents access childcare so they can go to work. At the same time, we're building the workforce of tomorrow by making sure children are on a strong developmental path. There's a strong case for this because research shows for every dollar invested in high quality childcare, there's up to $7 in a return over time. So the work we're putting into the community we're doing the trajectory for long-term success. So how do we do all of this? Even though we function as a nonprofit, we play a really unique role in the community because we access local needs, we design programming, and we provide services, but we don't do it alone. We work closely with our community partners, and sometimes that means providing in-house services like our Children's Resource Center. But then we work with other agencies within the community. So we work with Hickory City Schools, Catawba County Schools, and other local agencies like social services, and just so we can get connected to the right resources so our families in Catawba County can get connected to the resources that are right for them. Um, and other times it means that, sorry, I got really thrown off there. So we are just building a network for supporting families here in Catawba County. So our vision, this is the big picture. We want to be the central hub for everything childhood related in Catawba County. And we focus on the whole child and the whole family. So that includes early education, literacy, health, parent support, and making sure families know the resources that are available to them. Because access only matters if people know where to go. So this is a look at this is sort of falls under the umbrella of what we do at the partnership. Our work is really multifaceted. It's not just one program. It's a system of different supports for families and children within our county. So we're supporting childcare, parents, children, and the broader community all at the same time. And all of those pieces work together to create a strong foundation for families. So this is just sort of a look at a couple different things that we have at the partnership that support children. Our NC Pre-K is one of the biggest pieces that we do. It's a free income-based pre-K program that is primarily housed in Catawba County and Hickory City schools. and it gives children access to high quality education before kindergarten. We also support early literacy, including Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which provides children a free book every month from birth to age 5. And we also stock the little free libraries with books. Some are new, some are gently used. And we also supply small activity bags in a lot of the free libraries across Catawba County. And this is how we support parents here at the partnership. So we do parents as children because parents are their child's first and best teacher. And these services just help support the caregivers where they are. Parents as Teachers is our home visiting program. Um, and it is an in-home visiting program where our trained parent educators come in and work with families to help them work with their child, and they focus on different areas each time they come into the house, and just how to work with their child and how to properly develop their brain and do the things with them where they are. We also have our Peeps Playgroup, which is a weekly playgroup. It's hosted in 3 different locations across the county. It's a free program for parent educators to work with families and also for caregivers to work with one another and meet with one another and just form relationships outside of just the playgroups. We also have the positive parenting program, or triple P. And we really love triple P because it's different layers and you can focus on different things. So we focus on their classes on screen time, healthy screen time, and behavior management. And these can look like one-on-one visits. These can be group sessions. These can be virtual. So it's a really great way of meeting families where they are. Then for supporting parents, we have our Nest Diaper Pantry, which is a free emergency diaper supply pantry here that's housed at the Partnership for Children. And we provide diapers, wipes, and formula if needed. We also have childcare subsidies where we can get scholarships through social services, so that way parents can go to work and just further their career while also knowing that their children are receiving proper child care. And then if there's one thing you take from today, is that the Children's Resource Center, which is housed with us at the Partnership for Children, is the hub for childcare resources and referrals. Families can call or walk in, they can contact us online for referrals to childcare services and community resources. So when in doubt, reach out. We're here to navigate all of it. Again, when in doubt, reach out. There is no question that's too small. Please feel free to call this number or visit our website, or the Children's Resource website at childrensresourcecenter.org. We also have a family help book. Since 1995, we've published the family help book in both English and Spanish for families in and around Catawba County. It's a directory for services that can help families that look. We have elder services in there. We have so many different things that you can look up and find different resources to help you out. We also have this QR code so you can access the digital version of the help book in both English and Spanish. And we also have business cards and physical copies of the help book if you want something to hand out to families. It's a really great, easy tool to connect people to their resources. And thank you all so much. Again, I'm Sarah Thompson, and I'm the program manager at the Partnership for Children. I want to say thank you to all the work you all do in the community. Thank you for helping us get referrals out to families. We could not do this work without our partners in the community. And also, a really big thank you to Partners Health Management for having me speak today. Although you could see my notes for the first half of my presentation. I really thank you all a lot. And if you have any questions, I am here to answer those.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
And yes, we will open it for questions. You can either unmute or you can type your question in the chat and we'll read it out for you. And Sarah, I actually do have a question. So, with the Catawba County Partnership for Children, it is a longstanding program and resource in the county. So, what is kind of like your approach or your take as far as teaching newer parents coming from a new generation to where they may not know about the Partnership for Children and just all the resources that are there? So, what are just some of the things as far as new parents, as far as outreach, or just things to where you make them aware of all these resources that are available?
Yeah, so we have a phenomenal community engagement specialist. Her name's Marissa Carlton, and she does our social media. So she reaches out that way, but she is also she finds all of the places. So on Friday, we're going to the Special Olympics to pass out flyers and have our pamphlets and have things available for people who might be interested in our resources. We also have spring into summer coming up where we share all of our information, and we have booths for not just the partnership, but different folks in the community who want to share their resources. So we try really hard to just be out there, be a face in the community to interact with others. And we try to have a pretty large presence on social media. Also, word of mouth is a really big thing for us. We know that with our Peeps play groups that happen weekly, parents one parent finds out about it and then they share with their friends, and then that also allows them to know who we are at the partnership, and they can come in and see our resources and get some referrals and information about us and things in the community.
Definitely, because it is a great hub of resources. So just parents being able to tap into those resources is just great. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for everyone, Sarah's information is in the chat. So if you would like more information about the Partnership for Children, you can take note of that. All right. So our next speaker is Jeremy Stockton with the Catawba County WIC.
All right, good morning. Thanks for having me. And Amber's going to share a PowerPoint I have for you. Okay, all right, Amber, we can go to the next slide, please. So kind of overview, what is WIC? If you didn't know, it stands for Women, Infant, and Children as a supplemental food program for women, infant, and children up to age 5. And so WIC provides healthy foods, personalized nutrition education, breastfeeding support, and referrals. And what that looks like through our income eligibility, we have processing assistants that take care of that, and then they'll go to the next step in that is that they go for nutrition counseling. And so we have, and I'll introduce them later in this PowerPoint, but we have 2 RDs on staff, registered dietitians, and nutritionists as well. So that's where they come in and do that nutrition counseling and get that nutrition education part on that. Okay, WIC's actually been around for over 51 years. It falls up under DCFW, which is Division of Child and Family Wellbeing. And years ago, it fell under public health. So now what that looks like is it falls up under DSS. So food stamps, that that piece of it. Okay, and here's a picture of the team. Um, and there's no particular order here. It's a mix of nutritionists, RDs, and processing assistants. And then, of course, I'm on the far left. We are missing two other staff. They're breastfeeding peer counselors, and they actually give support and encouragement for our participants on the program. Oh, snapshot of us. All right, Amber, next slide, please. And so, kind of an overview of what we see each month. Our caseload is 3,706 participants. And so, what that looks like is that is 100% serving that. WIC is based on participation caseload. So, it's one of these programs. The more we have, the better. More funding we receive, and anytime we receive more funding, our caseload goes up. So in this case, we want to hit at least 97% mark. If we don't, we fall underneath that for 3 consecutive months. We could lose program funding, which we've been there before and we don't want to go back. So currently, right now, we're averaging really, and this is kind of WIC data comes in 3 months later than what it is, so it's not live data. So this really, we're currently serving about 3726 instead of 3714. That happened recently as data came in from the state. And so, yes, it's a little over 101% of what we're serving as far as our caseload goes. It's actually 101.41%. And that data just came in for December. So that's how far behind the data is. And the reason it's like that is when we issue out benefits, we're issuing out 3 months at a time. So no further than that, but definitely anywhere between 1 and 3 months. So to capture that data, the state waits on that redemption piece on there. Therefore, it's kind of a lag time by the time we receive that. All right, next slide, please. And so we have vendors, what we call our grocery stores within the county. There's 30 total. There's 26 corporate stores, and then your corporate stores are going to be like your Lowe's Food, Food Line, Walmart, those like that. There's no delivery at the back, please. Sorry about that. We had a page come through. And then our non-corporate stores, we're going to be like Medical Village Pharmacy. If you know where Catawba Valley Hospital is, across the street. Of course, they moved recently, or in the process. So we unfortunately are going to lose them as a vendor. But some of your mom and pop non-corporate stores, like Asian Supermarket on Business 321, to give you an example of that. Self-checkout is available now for all WIC participants, and that only includes your Walmart, Super Walmart, and neighborhood Walmarts. Food Line is unfortunately not on board yet. Fingers crossed with that. Target is self-checkout, and some Lowe's Food. In Catawba County, we do not have an Ingles, if you're familiar with that grocery store, but they are self-checkout as well. One thing that we point out to our participants, and you folks may or may not know this, is like WIC, even though we certify a participant or client here in Catawba County, they can use WIC anywhere in the state of North Carolina. So that's really cool, as long as it's a participating vendor. All right, Amber, next slide, please. Okay, and so we do, most of our appointments are in-house. Some are by phone, and sometimes we treat it like a hybrid appointment. If a mom, parent, foster parent, whoever comes in and they've got a busy schedule, they could come in, we could grab those measures, those anthropometrics, and then finish up the rest of that appointment kind of by phone, hybrid, if you will, at a later time or a later date. And sometimes that happens too if there's a sickness, illness, transportation issue, things like that. So it's nice to have these options. Years and years ago, we didn't have options like this. We do offer a late clinic twice a month. That is the second and fourth Monday of the month. And the reason why we have done this, we actually do a lot of surveying for our clients, for our participants. We want to meet them where they are. And so polling that and grabbing that data, a lot of that indicated that our clients wanted something outside of the normal 8 to 5 business hours. And so we open that up to 7 o'clock So you could say roughly staff are out of here by 6:30. Typically, the last appointment is around 6 o'clock. So it's worked well, and we're averaging about a 84, 82% show rate, which is not bad. This year we're fully staffed. Knock on wood. It's taken a little while to get there, but all hands are on deck now, and we're thankful for that. So, and I'll go over a little bit kind of what staffing looks like as well. All right, Amber, next slide, please. Okay, so we call these CBVs. They stand for cash value benefits. This is kind of part of that WIC card, their electronic benefits card. What they're going to get. It's kind of like me or you going to the grocery store and using our debit card, right? So they're going to use this what we call kind of an EBT card. Is similar to food stamps. These are going to the card is going to have loaded benefits on there, and one of the things, depending on, you'll see the category here, like for a child, they're going to get a $26 value on that card. Now that's in addition to what's standard on there, like cheese, yogurt, bread, juices, things like that. WIC, if you didn't know, is healthy products, foods that they put on there. We've matched this. We run parallel with American Academy of Pediatrics, um, and so you're looking at whole grain options, things of that nature. So for the child, it's a $26 value. A pregnant woman is going to be a $47 value. Of course, postpartum, $49 value, and fully and partially breastfeeding women, it's a $52 value, excuse me. And so that could be for any kind of fresh fruit or frozen vegetable or fruit as well. There have been some changes this year on the program. Things like herbs, they can get that. They have to be fresh herbs. They can't be dry herbs, things of that nature. Of course, no honey or meats, things of that nature. They can get eggs on the program. Another change is participants are allowed, they have the option for like salmon and tuna on the program. So um, I'm trying to think some of these options. That there were a lot of changes this year on the food package, what we call it. But as far as like a deli tray, and so what that would look like, it could be like a vegetable tray. However, you couldn't have typically these come with some type of dip, like ranch dip or something like that. You couldn't have that in there, but as long as it's like just the vegetables on there or fruit, the clients could get that. Just to give you a little overview of that. All right. Amber, next slide, please. Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts of the program, the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. We call it FMNP. And good timing. So we're getting ready to start this in June. It's going to be the first Thursday in June, and this runs all the way through September. And so we actually have this on site at our agency. It's in the parking lot. So if you guys have never experienced this, come out and see us. We'd love to see you. We're actually in a food desert area. I don't know if you know that. So we're kind of meeting people where they are. We're bringing fresh fruits and produce, local fresh fruits and produce for our clients and for people in the community as well. All right, next slide, please. Okay, and so part of of course, this is last year's data that we're looking at. There again, we always open up in June. And we run it, we're not trying to be as big as downtown Hickory or big as Conover like that. It's small. It's not really crafts and things of that nature. It's produce, things like that for our participants. So participants, it is another card on the program they get. It's a seasonal one-time issuance of $30 for WIC clients. And so what that looks like, if you're 2 and older, you get that. So a mom that is postpartum, she's still breastfeeding. If she's fully breastfeeding for a year, she can get those benefits as well. So that's going to be the issue is electronic. And so what happens is they come in, they grab this card, the FMMP card. There is another app that they download. And so they're making this transaction. It's all electronic at the market. Years ago, just like WIC was, it used to be vouchers. And so they would cash these $5 vouchers at the market, get stamped, and then the farmer would take that in just like a check to the bank. So now everything's electronic. They scan it, or the farmer can actually put in their number on the card and make that transaction. So really cool. It's come a long ways. Um, kind of give you a snapshot of last year. We've had 3 produce farmers, 1 egg farmer, one grape farmer, and 1 honey farmer. And so all of those farmers are coming back this year. Um, Bonus bucks and double bucks, we're doing that again this year. Our funding and how we fund that is actually through Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. So we got a pot of funding in there for that. So, for example, like the bonus buck is tied into the WIC farmers market card. Okay, so that's going to be $5 a piece. We're actually going to double that and make that 10. So for every participant on the program, they would get a $10 incentive, what we call a bonus buck, for that. Now, believe it or not, some of them actually declined it. I'm not sure what the reason on that is, but we'll go into a little bit of data here on the next screen. And then double bucks are EBT, or related to EBT. So what we're going to do on that is someone, say, for example, they have an EBT card and they want to pull off $30. We're going to match that up to $30. So now they have $60 to spend at the market. And this is actually huge. Word of mouth gets along, gets around. I present at DSS before the market season, as long as they can get me on the schedule. And, kind of giving a heads up, this is what it's going to look like this year. We advertise with flyers and things like that in the community. But it is a huge hit. It's a huge incentive. And we're thankful that Blue Cross Blue Shield actually reached out to us for the funding. All right, next slide, please. And here's one of the flyers that we do. These are passed out through the community. So you may see one at providers' offices, at Greenway transportation stops, the covered stops like that. So throughout the library system, school systems, and all that. So this is kind of our advertisement and get the season kicked off there. So kind of a snapshot of, and there's Blue Cross Blue Shield advertising at the bottom there. But yeah, we grow pretty steady every year, and this is a great incentive. All right, Amber, next slide, please. All right, and here's a snapshot of last year. These are 2 photos at our market. This is one of our farmers making transactions, and to the right over here, this picture, this is actually a WIC client making a transaction. So the kids, there's activities for everyone out there, and it's kid friendly, and really have a good time. All right, next slide. Okay, here's some data. We do want to brag. I was going to say we hate to brag, but no, we're going to brag. So last year, Catawba County, we were #1 in the state, and you can see this is kind of polling the top 4 counties that had the farmers market program, and kind of what their redemption rate looked like. And so it's based on redemption, and granted that does look a little low, but like state average was around 29%. And you'll see that on the next slide here. So we're proud of that. It's a lot of work and effort that goes out, and just reminders that you have to remind our participants, to come in. Going back to that issuance, it's a 30-day window. Unfortunately, it's not the whole market they can use it, which would be ideal, but it's a 30-day window. So once we issue that out, they have 30 days to use those benefits. All right, next slide. Okay, and this comparison of last year's data, or the year before and last year's data. So you can see how some of it, the bonus bucks that I was talking earlier, it's pretty much the same as what it was. Double bucks have went up a little bit. That's tied into the EBT card, and then of course SNAP and EBT. We track all this because data drives decision making, right? So we track all this as far as the market and what that looks like. Really, let's see, I think we're going on year 14 with the market, which is hard to believe. And down there, we also have distribution of the senior vouchers. Now, senior are not electronic, and so no, this doesn't really tie into WIC. However, it does the farmers market. They'll be here twice this summer for distribution of their vouchers. And so they actually, you can see where their redemption rate went up from in 2024 89% to 93% last year. And then that bottom total is kind of all that added together, what that looks like. So you can see a slight increase from the previous market year. All right, next slide there. Oh yeah, that's it. Well, thank you guys. And any questions? I know I went through that pretty quick.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. We actually do have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Does Cabarrus County have a farmers market that accepts WIC?
They do. They sure do.
Absolutely. And so I have a question.
Okay.
I know you mentioned just with the farmers market, it has been around about 14 years, and you
Hmm.
shared the redemption rate. It seems like it's been really successful.
It
So,
has.
what would you say are just like some of the, I guess, the things that have made it successful? What would you describe are kind of like the top three things that make the secret sauce as far as with success?
That's tough. I think you really, and just like with any position, we don't have a full-time market manager. Um, Well, I say that lightly. It's not like it is in Conover and Hickory and some of your other farmers market, right? So WIC plays a big part, and so we help coordinate that, but it takes a team effort, and staff come and go. We've had market managers that have been assigned. They work at Public Health, but that's not their full time job, right? So they share that duty throughout the season. But I think having the right people in place and learning from past experience on how we can improve the market and move forward with that. And just like with staff, farmers also come and go. When we went electronic with the farmers market there, the FMMP for weight participants a few years ago, statewide, there were a lot of farmers that, and I completely understand, they didn't want to go electronic. A lot of pushback from that. They're kind of old school, if you will. So they were used to these vouchers where they're signing them like checks and taking them to the bank. So um, trying to really handhold, if you will, some of these vendors to keep them on, I think that's a big part of it. And then just spreading the message out in the community. You always every year we actually poll this. We do a little survey on each market, and no, I mean we're never perfect, right? But we strive for excellence and strive to get better and how we can improve like that. So it takes a village to get it done. A lot of volunteers, but working with that, striving to get better and kind of setting those goals to do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.
All right. So we're now transitioning to our last speaker, Amanda Jenkins with Stretch and Grow.
Hello and good morning. My name is Amanda Jenkins. I'm the program director for Stretch and Grow, and so I just want to say first, thank you guys for letting us be a part of your community chat. And community really is what Stretch and Grow is all about. And working with our families, working with our kiddos in the community, and so Stretch and Grow has been in Catawba County since 2007. And we just recently this year, we moved out to Alexander County and Caldwell County. And so we've taken on two other territories. And so in a nutshell, what we do is provide 30 minutes of fitness, health, nutrition, to our kiddos. We have a couple different avenues that can help us achieve that. We work with Early Head Start, so we're very close with the partnership and Head Start and that kind of stuff, and going into the homes for 0 to 3-year-olds. We also do a lot of work, and we are in all of our Catawba County and C pre-Ks, and so that's about 32 classrooms that we are there. And then we also travel to childcare facilities where we're in about 23 to 25 facilities in the year. And so with that, we go into these classrooms and we hold a 30-minute session where we teach healthy habits. We talk about eating our 5 a day. That's our favorite number. We have 5 fruits and vegetables every day, 5 ways to make our bodies happy and healthy. And the impact that a 5 can be. So we can give a high five to a friend. We can give a hug to a friend. There's all kinds of ways that we just continually bring in the kindness and bring in healthy habits for these kiddos. So we usually have a small discussion that's 3 to 5 minutes to start us. Something I like to call them adventures. So we can talk about Earth Day. And so this week, in fact, we are on Earth Day. Happy Earth Day to everybody today. And so we're going to blast off. So what do we need to do to take care of our Earth? How do we make sure that we're working together? And, we can ride our bikes. We can pick up trash. We can help a friend, all of these things. And so we discuss that with the kids. And then we ask them if they're ready for their adventure. We're going to blast off into space. We have to get our astronaut costumes on. And all of the movement we do is based with music. And so we know that kids, that little brain, it all starts to put those things together when we have music and movement. And so we just we work to make the whole child and base everything in play. We talk about being positive. It's really important that we meet the children where they are. We work very closely with curriculum and developmental milestones with our kiddos. So, at the first of the year in September when we start, we're encouraging them to figure out their space so they're not putting their muscles on somebody else. And by the end of the year, they're ready to go. They've got that part. They're doing 1-foot jumps versus 2-feet jumps. And so we really, we modify where we can and where we see everybody, where their needs are. And that's really what makes us something that I love, and something special, is to make sure that we are being developmentally appropriate for our students. Let's see. We do learn our muscles. So we talk about our shoulder, but also our deltoid. We talk about our cranium. We talk about our abdominals. Again, making everything into a song. We do the song Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, and we have changed out to biceps, triceps, and abdominals. And so again, you start that in September, and by May, they're singing along with us and having fun with that. Let's see. Just trying to think through. We do go into those centers, but we also have a studio in downtown Hickory on Government Avenue. And in the studio, we do our fitness, which is our base program. But then we take that fitness and we take that play and we have changed it into a yoga focus. So making sure we're breathing, stretching our body. We have taken that same fitness approach and play-based and moved it into dance, where we do 2 recitals every year. And it's just kind of an easy, just moving our body. We do put on like a little show for a showcase, I would say. That's probably about 20 minutes. We learn about 3 to 4 songs, depending on what we're up to. And then some of our, I'm also the dance coordinator, but one of our biggest achievements for that is just giving our kids the experience to get on a stage. We talk to the families a lot about keeping those expectations pretty balanced, that for some children, it's about the experience of getting on a stage and that they did it. Whereas others are going to be poised and ready to go and bringing every ballerina move to the extent. But it's all in having fun and making sure that that they are feeling confident and they are encouraged. We also have a musical theater program, a music program, a sports program, and again, all of those based in play, learning the beginnings of all of that. This week, they're learning baseball in our sports program, and so it's just working together, being a team, making that hand-eye coordination, and of course, bringing fun and excitement to it. Our studio classes, they are from 0 to 10. We have a playtime that is on every morning from 10 to noon. And that is where our families can come join us. We have an open studio where, again, because we are play based, we start a lot in a playroom and then we bring them out to our big room. We do some fitness, some movement that's a little more directed, and then we have more playtime. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have a toddler club. And so that's kind of the motto, or the model that we work with is bringing them in, letting them play, doing a little fitness, playing again. And then that rolls into the playtime. That's from 10 to noon, where our families are welcome. Our community is welcome to come in and check us out and just have that playtime with their children, but also it's a great way to bring in that social emotional and connecting to other parents and having that time. We trying to think. We are also at the library in the summer, and so that is a free program where we will do a 30-minute stretch and grow fitness out on the library lawn that's out there on the side. They have a new stage out there to the left of the library. And that will be on Tuesday mornings. I believe that one's going to be at 10. But we love to partner with our community. We love to be out in our community. Some of the most heartwarming moments are when we see our families in the community and we get a hi, Miss Amanda, hi, Miss Hillary, hey, coach. And it's heartwarming. So that is just where our hearts lie, is in our communities, in our families, and with our kids, and just watching them thrive and seeing how they just develop every time we meet. And so I know it was kind of short and sweet, but we do just keep in our communities. We serve so many of our students through our classes, through the NC pre-Ks and through our EHS. So.
Thank you, Amanda.
Sure.
And with that, I know you were just talking about the program as far as with the movement and music piece, but I loved how you expanded and talked about how with the program it is play-based. It also fosters confidence. Just seeing that growth from the couple months to where you talked about September to May, and just how they build in the confidence. And by the end of the program, they're singing the songs and they feel confident and they're able to go out there and either have fun or they're doing the movement. So that was great. I will open it up just to see if anyone has questions for all three of our speakers. We're getting close to time here. And as a reminder, we do have all three speakers' contact information in the chat. So if you would like more information about their programs and resources, please reach out to them. Just with today, we have covered child development. We've talked about nutrition resources and physical and social resources. So hopefully something was said that was beneficial to you and something that you can pass on to a family. So I'll now pass it to who's doing our closing?
Me.
Okay.
Thanks, Amani. Just as a reminder, we are hosting Community Cafe every fourth Wednesday of the month. Next Wednesday, next month, we will be doing a panel style discussion specifically around mental health awareness with a focus and emphasis on trauma. So we'll have some trauma experts in, and we'll have some organized questions, and then also open up the floor to ask them questions as well about trauma and the impacts of trauma and how to approach in trauma informed ways. I just put the link again for the community cafe for next month. And again, it'll be on May 27th at 10 a.m. We hope to see you all there. If anyone has any comments or questions before we dismiss, you are welcome to ask. You can also stay around if you would like. If not, thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you all next month. Continue doing good work. Thank you.
Thank you.